Here's the opening range recap for Thursday, September 22nd. Looking at the Dow 1 minute pivot hit number one here. You see a red diamond there. That's 50% retracement. If you're into the 50% retracement, that's where to sell. 30-point stop. Half your units coming back down to the pivot, which was would have been worth about 48 points, 45, 48, depending on your entries and exits. And then the rest back up to break even, and you would have got stopped out on the rest. So that would have been worth about 40 points on the retracement aspect. No most safe trades at all for anything today. But you can see we hit there, and then boom, really quickly back up to the pivot, and on those tend to be really good. You didn't have a whole lot of heat, maybe 10 points or so. NQ had the same kind of thing. So first pivot hit here, and then in the same minute it came up to the 50% retracement, like no heat. I think it came right to the number, and then the next minute it was back down to the pivot. So that was worth roughly 20, 25 points on the NQ very quickly. And then you would have got stopped out on the remaining. Actually, I got stopped out right here because it went up, I think, 1 or 2 ticks higher than my spot. So I got the first one, and then my second lot was stopped out right there. But anyway, that was worth some money as well. But you can see very quickly from the pivot hit back up to the 50% retracement, all before 10, tend to be really good ones. In contrast, the ES, let me switch it over to the 1 minute. The ES had its pivot hit here. It bounced fairly quickly within a few minutes, but didn't hit the 50% retracement. 50% retracement is up here, roughly. So it took a long time for you to get a trade. This would be well after 10 o'clock, so I wouldn't take that particular aspect. The other thing here is this was a 25% win and a 50% win, but right here it missed it by 2 ticks. So this blue dot, if you move it all the way over here, I think it missed it by 2 ticks. Which so it ended up being 25% was a winner, 50% was a winner for the opening range stuff, but that just missed. Anyway, going back to the 50% retracement, selling it here on situations like this, the opening range was 1175. Normally I have about a 4-point stop, but when you do that and you're right below the opening range high, or opening range low in this case, I like to put my stops up here. So you end up having a little bit bigger stops. So I ended up having, I think, a 96 stop. So it ended up being like a 7-point stop on it. I went less because it was after 10 o'clock. I always go less if I'm wanting to test it out. But anyway, it did work. Came back down to the pivot. You would have got stopped back out over here. But do some due diligence on a 50% retracement. Does very well, at least lately. And but those are the things to look for when it's really quick off the pivot back to the 50% retracement before 10 a.m. Those are the things to watch for. But no most safe trades on any of the instruments today. Have a good one. Take care.